Jordan might be ineligible for points, but should we still include him on our tier list? Eh, yeah, I think we should. Obviously, Andrew Jordan driving the hybrid car for the very first time, making its debut, is making a pit lane start in all three of its races, but still, obviously doing so it didn't affect the race too much. But still, I mean, it's Andrew Jordan. I don't think I don't think anybody expected him to be at the back for the whole race, especially when there were safety cars, quite a few for that day. So Jordan. Very, very consistent. Still, not sure what happened in race 3, which gave him a DNF. I hope it wasn't mechanical. Otherwise, does that mean the hybrid car will be delayed until 2023? Well, hopefully not. But either way, Jordan had a very important job. I think he delivered, and it was good. It was cool to see the car on display. And now I think I'm looking forward more to it now than I was before. Than I was at the start of the day. So. Very good job, Jordan, for what was a very important job. You might be ineligible for points, but we'll include you in this video. Why not? We'll give Jordan a B. Above him is Jack Mitchell, still bottom of the regulars who still get to score points. And Mitchell, yeah, still struggling to find his feet a bit. I don't know. He's only one top 20 finish so far, and 2 DNFs this weekend. I think can't quite remember what they were for, but I think they were low incidents. But Mitchell, yeah, he's really struggling right now. I think by now, I think we want to see him in the fight and staying in the fight more often. So Mitchell, yeah, I don't think I can give him higher than a C once again. Now Andy Neat had one incident at the first corner of race 1. We didn't see a replay of that, so it's difficult to judge who was at fault for it. I think I had little incidents for the rest of the day, so I'm not sure. Of course, I don't want to put people in D tier because they perform miserably or they cause an accident, because I don't know for a fact what part Neil played in the incident. So yeah, I think I'll give Neat a C for this occasion. Now Nick Hamilton finished all his races, but with a lot of incidents and safety cars, I think Hamilton should have been more of a beneficiary on this occasion. But instead, no, there's more of the same results as usual. Fair play for keeping it clean, but yeah, should be fighting for top 20s at this point. It's not the usual 24th and 25th places. You know, that region. He needs, yeah. We expect better. So Hamilton sadly goes in D. Now we're at Parfit. Very competitive weekend, I have to say, for him. Probably one of the most so far. A bit like Throxton, where presumably a track he's driven before. Not quite mediocre results, but we actually saw him in battles with other people when he's been more towards the back quite often this year. So Parfit, for being in the fight, I'll put him in B. Jade Edwards now, one incident in race 2, essentially ruined her day. Not too bad for the 2 races she finished. Not sure about still lacking a little bit of pace and still not having much change of luck, unfortunately. So Edwards, same with Mitchell and Neat, can't give him much higher than C. Now Sam Smelt, 2 DNFs in races 1 and 2. Race 1 incident hardly his fault, as far as I remember. Race 2, can't quite remember what happened on that occasion. I struggled to pay attention to race 2 because the Grand Prix was just finishing at the time of the second race. So yeah, my mind was a little bit elsewhere at the time, struggling to deal with Lando Norris losing the Grand Prix. Anyway, Smelts did have a very good recovery in race 3 and got up to 20th, which I think it's, all things considered, is actually a good recovery by his standards. And I'm sure he had a lot of people around him who were also keen to make progress. So he managed that. So good point. So good result for him on that sense. So I'll give Smelts a B. And it's the same case for Jack Bussell. Slightly delayed in race 3 with the Sam Osborne Tom Chilton incident, which we'll talk about in a bit. Until then, Bussell consistent again, top 20s, not quite able to add to the 4 points he's had this year, but apart from that, still being in the fight more so than last year and the start of this year. So Bussell, he's still learning and he's doing decently, doing very decent. So Bussell, I think I'll also put him in B. Sam Osborne now, added to his points tally, 14th in race 2. As mentioned before, little incident with Tom Chilton, which was a bit of a weird one. I think Osborne was a bit innocent in that one. which cost him another points finish for race 3. So yeah, not a bad turn of speed, but didn't seem to be making too much progress. I think he was stuck in the middle for a little bit. So Osborne, yep, C. And once again, a very competitive weekend. Once again, who's been getting quite a few of these little points finishes here and there. Aaron Taylor-Smith, and yep, a bit like Croft, much more in the fight than any of his 3 teammates. And he's very close to somebody who I thought would be miles ahead of Taylor-Smith heading into this season, Carl Boardley. So Taylor-Smith still very much up there. So I'm going to put him in A once again. Now for Carl Boardley, 15th place in race 1, but involved in a little incident race 2, which ruined his race with Andy Neeson ripped part of it. We didn't quite see a good angle of who was at fault for that, but Boardley clearly did some party in that one, and recovered quite well to finish 19th in race 3. So yep, I think I'll also give Boardley a C here. Now Tom Chilson, good fight with Jake Hill throughout race 1. I think those two are side by side for quite a few laps in that race though, which was pretty fun to watch. So fair play for putting up a fight. Then improved. I guess Chilson and Hill must have worked together in race 2 to get good points, because Chilson being up to 13th. And then the incident with Sam Osborne, which was weird because it looked like Chilson literally just moved to the right, avoided trying to get a good exit, and ended up being spun. But so yeah, a weird incident, and one that ruined Chilson and Osborne's day, sadly, and I guess Bussell's as well. So yep, Chilson showed good signs of it. Had he kept the same speed as the first 2 races, he could have been a B or even an A. But that weird incident in race 3 will give. I think it will lower the mark a little bit. So Chilson gets a C. Wallace Jackson now gets to finish all 3 races this weekend. Little problem in race 2, which I'm not sure what that really was. But yeah, I guess he'll be happy to finish all these races, because he loves Silverstone. Clearly, he won his first race here last time. So yeah, probably going to be a bit better about the problems in race 2, but consistent weekend, a little bit better, so I'll give Jackson a B. Now Jack Goff, a little bit better this time round, I'd say. Much more consistent. Two 15th place finishes, being his points finishes, and 19th for race 1. Pretty poor qualifying, actually, surprisingly. I think he had a little problem they once mentioned. So good recovery, and then getting the reasonable results as we expected. Almost up with his teammate Taylor-Smith. So those two definitely the flag bearers for Team Hard this year, certainly for this weekend. So yeah, decent again from Goff. I think not quite the heights, not quite the A tier of Taylor-Smith, but pretty close. So he goes in B. Dan Lloyd now. Oh wow, what an improvement! This is the spectacular results I've been waiting for from him this year. A 3rd in race 1. Dropped back probably not being used to this much ballast. Drops to 11th, and ends up being reverse grid pole. Quite fortunately, leads a few laps. Stayed in touch with Jake Hill once he'd lost the lead, and got to another podium. So 2 in one day. I mean, there aren't many people who say they've done that in touring cars. Certainly out of midfield runners. So yeah. I mean, it feels controversial putting him in S tier, considering his race 2, but I mean, come on, those 2 podiums surely have to be eyebrow raising, and certainly one of the drivers of the day. And for that reason, yeah, Dan Lloyd, why not go in S tier? And Chris Smiley, again missing out on the first podium of the season, but gets his best results. That first podium, I'm sure, will come this year. If not, I think Smiley should still be very satisfied with this season. Consistency, obviously close to that first podium, and just having speed, despite probably not being the best qualifier, he does move up and get into the points through good moves and robust moves. He makes every kind of overtake imaginable, but not quite able to get the rewards just yet. But Smiley, despite that, he'll go in A for a great pace. And Tom Oliphant, again, having a little break, no little problems here and there, but finishing races, which is important. And ultimately, but only 2 11th places being his rewards. And, starting to slip back from that top 12, top 13 placing. I think it's going to be pretty difficult now, I think, to get in that top 10 come the end of this year. Even without any ballast, he seems to struggled a little bit. Yeah, so I don't think it's bad luck anymore. I think it's just a real lack of pace. I don't know, maybe just a little bit not very motivated right now for Oliphant. Yeah, so yeah, that's a bit of a shame, really sad to see, and so another disappointing weekend. Hopefully he'll pick himself back up. It's time for him to pick himself back up and get a change of luck. So yeah, but this weekend Oliphant sadly gets a C. And Jason Plato, 2 10th places to kick off the day. I think, and then would have been a reverse grid pole before Josh Cook's disqualification. And I think Plato just a little too generous on the first lap of race 3, dropping from second to 4th, I believe, and then 5th again, and then down to 6th. But after that, he was fairly consistent, holding off probably drivers who were probably a bit faster. So yeah, but Plato, I'm really starting to doubt whether he'll add to that other podium he got this year, to that one podium he got this year, or even, and sad also to say, maybe even win number 98 might be a little bit too far away now. But I shouldn't be too depressed. So still decent, still consistent, but Plato needs to change his approach to defending from people. But despite that, the pace was there and the consistency was there. So Plato, yep, I think he'll go in B. Stephen Jelly next. Consistency again. Not too many noteworthy results. Top 10 in every race, and a pretty competitive third race where he got a top 5, which is first one in quite a while since since Knock Hill. Very, very decent. So I think, yeah, decent results, but didn't really show too much pace or make too many overtakes. So yeah, Jelly can go in. Yeah, he'll join Plato in B. Adam Morgan now, and let me check. Yeah, first meeting of the year without any points, but first DNF in race 1 with the incident in adidas. Again, we don't know the responsible party on that one. And yeah, not the usual Morgan charge back up through the field that we're used to seeing. Not quite able to return to the points in the end. So not quite so yeah, probably not making as much progress as Chilton was in race 2. So yeah, real surprise from Morgan, and but for slightly improving. I think he's not quite a D, so he'll go in C. And now back up into the top 10 with a much more consistent weekend than as of late for Daniel Robosom, and gets another Jack Series trophy for the end of the day for the best driver in that category. Top 10 in every race, 6th being his best result in race 2. Maybe not putting too much of a fight up. Like obviously fighting against faster drivers, he's in a different league to them right now. He's fighting other people, fighting people other than them right now. But due to decency and consistency, much better than usual. Then as of late, so Robosom can go in A. The same cannot be said for his teammate Gordon Shedden, who had the DNF in race 1. I'm not sure. Again, probably an innocent party in that one. And yeah, still not quite able to recover in races 2 and 3, and possibly had the incident with Jade Edwards in race 2, but we didn't see that. So no points at all, and dropping to the lower region of the top 10 again, and might even be in danger of losing that top 10 points, which is a real surprise considering he was 4th at the end of Knock Hill, and yeah, it's starting to fall back down to earth for Gordon Shedden this year. Well, this weekend, but hopefully he'll pick himself up again. It's been the story of his year so far. So yeah, due to that, I think Shedden can be our second D tier driver of the video, unfortunately. And Senna Proctor, another probably reality hits for Proctor now. After some very, very almost flawless weekends. The last few week meetings, but I guess Silverstone not really a track for him. He didn't start off well with qualifying, only getting the only points finish being 14th in race 1, and then a DNF they didn't quite see the cause of for race 2, and only slightly improved. He had both his teammates to help him improve through the field, ultimately only finishing both he and Cook not quite able to reach the points in the end, but you probably couldn't expect too much. So a slight dip in performance, but the pace is still pretty reasonable for Proctor. So I think I'll put him in B on this occasion. And Rory Butcher, he's back. He's finally got the good luck he needs. Definitely the car 2 beats at Silverstone this weekend. winning winning races 1 and 2, and there aren't many who've as only one other person who's managed that this year, and that was Josh Cook. So yeah, absolutely, he loves Silverstone, and the car clearly did too, and yeah, having to contend with full ballast in a busy grid in race 3, you probably don't expect too much. At a 13th place, I mean, we've seen worse with in a car with full ballast. So decent for Butcher. I mean, where else could he go other than S tier for those 2 dominant performances in races 1 and 2? A double fat now. No podiums, no podiums this time, but consistency. A top 4, a 4th, a 5th, a 7th. That's the ones we had. That's the ones we had. The results we would get before that excellent weekend at Croft. So Moffat now 6th in the championship, and I think he's got a decent chance of holding on to that, and also playing a part in the championship, like I said before, helping his teammate Sutton. So yeah, was again good from Moffat. Not quite as dominant as Croft, so he'll go in A. And probably the one with the saddest face leaving Silverstone will be Josh Cook, and for the typical roll bar problem it's a rule, it exists, it's a rule that has to exist, and I probably shouldn't complain too much about that, but for him to have broken that rule by making an inspiring move, which almost worked at the inside Butcher in race 2, which almost gave him the win. I think that's a real shame that he lost a win due to that move, and ultimately lost a second due to it as well. So yeah, but despite that, the pace was excellent. It's now such a shame he's in danger of not even getting, close to second in the end, because he's now 27 points behind that second place and 23 points behind 4th. So that means that this week that disqualification essentially could well have cost him a top 4 in the championship, which he's more than worthy of getting. So yeah, it's a real shame, but due to having the pace, and to clearly to win race 2 if there had been an extra lap. So yeah, Cook he definitely deserves an S, just for some consolation after that disqualification, which was not cool, to be honest. Yeah, it's a real shame that rule was had to come in today, and possibly cost Cook a runner-up finish in the championship. And Colin Ferguson still definitely one of the Alain Prosts of the British Touring Car Championship, staying out of trouble, keeping it clean, getting consistent finishes here and there, not risking a race win for a DNF, and so yep, and Cook's disqualification gave him one extra podium this weekend, and still within touch distance of that second place, which he's still I still say he has a real chance of getting. So yeah, for a typical Turkish performance, that gives him an A. And Jake Hill, I mean, who'd have thought at the start of the day that Hill would not be in 5th in the points at the end of the day. Not really with a lot of ballast. It was always going to be difficult in race 1. Not able to add to his points tally, but moving up very well in race 2 to get a top 10, which would have been a front row, but then became 3rd on the grid in race 3. And did a brilliant move on down Lloyd to take the lead. Held off the slight pressure from Lloyd towards the end, getting his second win of the year, the 3rd of his career, and is now within 2 points of Ingram in second place. So I'd say this weekend changed very little in terms of Hill's chances of a runner-up spot. So yeah, Hill again, because of the qualifying pace and the race 1 pace, I don't think it's quite an S tier day for him, but very high A's here. And Tom Ingram finally returns to the podium after two meetings without one. He gets two second places, and had a little argument with Butcher, in terms of overtaking under yellow flags. We don't know how that's going to play out, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I'm sure Ingram will be very satisfied to be back on the two second places, still second in points. He's I believe, yep, Donington Park. He's very decent there also. So he'll be very satisfied to be back up in that second place, heading into these last 2 meetings. So Ingram, due to pace, he'll go in A. And Ash Sutton, I think he can go in A as well. Again, doing the same approach as Ingram and Turkington, getting consistent points finishes, and the occasional podium here and there. So yeah, and, it's such a shame that he's this far ahead in points, because for them to all be this consistent, it really should be all five of them close to each other. But Sutton, yeah, having those consistent finishes at the start of the year and getting wins when they mattered most has helped Sutton build up that cushion. And getting one last rewarding race free with a podium with some good moves. It's very, yep, Sutton. I think he can't steal the championship at Donington, but he can place one hand on that trophy if he gets a very good day, as we should probably expect, unless something really dramatic happens. We should expect him to be one step closer to championship number 3 for Sutton. So yeah, it could be a very crucial meeting for him, and I think he will deliver again. And just like this weekend, and same as the last weekend, I'll give Sutton for consistency, not quite race winning pace, but so for that reason I'll give him A. So there are my ratings for this weekend at Silverstone. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to one of my favourite circuits, Donington, in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.